Good morning, beautiful people. It's Vivienne Hunter, and today we're going to do a meditation. And in this meditation, we are going to focus on seeing what we really want in the world, and that's on all levels. It's including our earth being healthy and whole and nurtured instead of destroyed as we have been. It includes a financial system that works for everybody. It includes everybody having at least their basics met. There's always food and water and health needs and shelter, of course. So this is what we're doing. Big breath. Another one. Breathe in through your mouth and out through your mouth. We're connecting our head and our heart when we do that. The throat is the connection between the head and the heart, and this is definitely a time where we really need to integrate between our heads and hearts. Breathing in through our mouth again, out through our mouth, and consciously allowing our head and heart to be connected, aligned, in balance with each other, that we may receive the guidance of our heart, the deeper urgings, and not have them overrun by our logic and our brains, but being allowed to use, all the faculties of our brain to implement and create as we need to. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to take another big slow breath. I'm going to get you to do this in through your nose and take it right down to the bottom of your diaphragm. And out. And this time when you breathe, I want you to imagine your breath, your energy going right down past the bottom of your diaphragm, down through your legs, out through the bottom of your feet, down into the earth, grounding you down into our beautiful Mother Earth, connecting you into the physical, into the reality of this world, all the different realities of this world. We all have our own experience of it. And feel yourself physically held, supported, grounded into the earth, who provides all your needs, from your most basic need for air and water, to food and shelter, to gorgeous sights and sounds and smells and tastes. The blessings of her waters to not just drink and bathe in, but to play in. Okay. So breathe in again, and as your attention goes to your connection to earth, just let love flow down in acknowledgement and gratitude. And allow love to flow down through you and out to earth, to go where it may, to go where it's needed. Now another big slow breath, and this time we take our energy upward. Recognizing our connection to all, being really conscious that beyond our body, beyond our limited mind, the life of us, the spirit of us connects to all. And here we have an ability to attain wisdom, answers, solutions, connections, support by being in a trustful flow and heeding the guidance that comes in those thoughts out of nowhere, in our heart's whispers. And as we take our attention up and out to the beyond, to the all, we acknowledge our infinite creator, the light of all that is, God, whatever your term. And we say thank you. We say thank you to all. We are one of all interconnected. So as we say thank you to one, we say thank you to all. And we send love, returning love to our infinite creator, returning love to all. This opens us up beautifully into a space of unity as we commence. Okay, we're not going to do a deep clearing of anything going on. There are other recordings you can easily find that I've made doing exactly that. We'll just take one moment or a few moments to gather in. You don't have to think of every little thing, just set the attention that you're gathering in anywhere you're in. And this includes in your mind and your emotions and your body, everything, spiritually, financially, everything. So we're pulling in, gathering in everything you're uncomfortable with, everything that bugs you, annoys you, worries you, anything, everything. Just pull it all in, acknowledge it. Let it be gathered before you and just allow love to flow through it. And as we acknowledge it and allow love to flow through it, we're going to just set it aside for a moment, or for these moments. We're not ignoring that we have needs, we're not ignoring that there's stuff going on we're not comfortable with, but we're just acknowledging it, we're allowing love to flow through it, which has its own answers and solutions if it's ready for that. And we put it aside. Beautiful. Okay. Now, here we go. Make sure you're comfortable and won't be disturbed briefly. As we begin, I want you to focus on something you really love. And picture that really clearly, something that lights you up. It can be anything. An experience you had, fun you had as a child, a person you adore, a thing you adore doing, a place that where you walk in feels like it's sacred. There are places on this earth that just, when I go there, I just feel alive. It's hard to explain. Whatever it is for you, think of something you love. We're connecting to that feeling and really letting that resonate through us. Being lit up and alive and connected with something in the best way. That's us connected with our needs being met and enjoyed and thriving. Okay. Now fill with this energy of feeling alive and love and thriving. I'm going to ask you to spend moments picturing, imaging what you'd most like in the world, in your reality, in our world, ongoing. Never mind the things that aren't here yet. Never mind the things that you don't like. We are aligning with what we really, really want from our heart. Not from our mind, from our heart. And to be really aligned on it, we're focusing on what we want, what we see, what our heart desires. So first do that in relation to relationships, in relation to connections to people, to family, to friends, to loved ones. You may desire more connections in your life. Imagine that. See it all as you most wish it to be, where communication is open and free and effective, and love and respect and harmony are at the base. So this is my version. Yeah. Your words, your version. Picturing it now. Okay, and what would you most love in your reality, in our world, where it relates to your work? And work does not have to be going to a job, although it can actually absolutely be. You could be a parent, a stay-at-home parent, and that is maybe your purpose for now. Whatever it is, you may be a creator and you work in your own time frame. How do you want to spend your time in a way where you feel you're contributing from what your heart and your soul want to contribute, and receiving back? When we contribute, the flow becomes harmonious, and what we need comes to us without us having to really figure out too much. It's quite beautiful how that flows. So we're not looking at the how-tos, or even how impossible or probable it may feel or be to you right this moment. Just what would you most love, even if it's something that seems just crazy. And see yourself doing that. What would that feel like? What would that look like? What would a week's worth of days look like? One day just example, you're a creative. One day you spend the whole day diving into creating, and the next day you might want to go out and be active in the world. Just another day is for family and friends, and then you go back into creating. Or you might dive into creating in chunks of time and then come back out of that space into the outer world again. What is your version of what you think would be the most fun, joyful thing you can do where you feel on purpose? And feel it, really feel it, and see yourself, put in as much detail as you can. Not the hows, just the feeling of it. The parts of it you think just brilliant to have as your life. Okay, the next area we're going to look at is health and wellness and fitness and our body, the whole gamut. What does that look like for you, your ideal? For me, I've been recovering from some chronic illness, some major surgeries for a couple of years. It took longer than I expected, and I've had times of resisting that and then letting go and resting as I've needed. It's been a backwards and forwards for me. So my ideal is to have all energy, all flexibility, all comfort and wellness and health flowing through my body, being my everyday state, filled with vitality, feeling motivated and on purpose. That's my ideal for my health and energy. Eating beautiful, healthy foods, which I'm doing, and as you vision it, if you see an area where you're not doing it, imagine that you are now. Just see yourself doing the things that would fill you up and help you be in the most aligned state with your health and well-being and body that you want to be. Something I could do more of is movement. However, that still causes pain, so the limit is there. So I see myself being able to move more and more, and interestingly, in the last few weeks, movement has got easier. So let's picture what we desire more of. And how good does that feel, that freedom of being in the state of health and wellness and comfort with your body that you most desire? What would you do with your body? Would you go out and dance? Would you dance at home? Would you sing, listen to more music? Would you go for walks along the beach, watching a sunset, looking for a sunset? These are things that fill me up, that I look to do more of when I need to be doing things that give me joy in movement in the world. What is it for you? What are your things that you would love to do more of? And see them in your life. Picture them in your life. And connect them back to, we're just looking at relationships and, how we fill our days. See the whole picture. Some of these things you may want to do with friends and loved ones. See it. And it doesn't have to be you seeing specific people. You can see the picture of you connected to people who you love and who love you, doing whatever. That's it. That's it. Okay, and just as we finish focus on health and body area of life, we're going to send thanks to our beautiful bodies, thanking it for housing our life, our spirit, giving us life, allowing us to be here in these remarkable times, on the cusp of this huge shift of humanity. Scary, unsettling, challenging, huge uncertainty, amazing, huge possibilities before us. And you get to choose. The more conscious and clear you are on what you want for the world, for yourself, the easier it will be for us all to move forward into a more peaceful, settled version of life, taking away the frenetic need run by an unconscious pattern that we adopted without even realizing. Okay, thanking our bodies. Send it a virtual hug and lots of love to every atom and cell. That's it. Beautiful. Now, let's look at the outer world. Can we vision together that globally Earth is looked after? However that can be, I don't have the clear idea of all the different steps we need to take. But if all of our focus is on Earth and her well-being being a priority, all the individuals who can facilitate that, make the correct choices, are decision policy makers, leaders, are more aligned to guide it through to actualization. We hold that space now for it being so without the how-tos, okay? So we're holding a space, and there may be things that are specific to you. And you see that, as well as the general picture of the basis of society globally being in communion and connection and respect with our Mother Earth and all of nature, all the living things and plants and animals, our waters, everything. So we're all going to vision that together, collectively sharing part and bringing our own individual expression of that to our vision as well. Okay, beautiful. And we're just going to imagine that we're just turned on the radio or the television, and there's a news broadcast, and it's talking about how the world is thriving now. Instead of rainforests and reefs being destroyed, the news is good. What news do you most want to hear about our beautiful Mother Earth thriving? Okay, beautiful. And with our attention on the outer world, the next visioning is allowance globally for all of humankind. We are all important. We are all valuable equally. No one person is more important than any other, no matter their apparent status, no matter their particular talents or abilities or achievements. Every single person is equally valuable. The division of race, of tribe, of color of skin, of sexual orientation, of religious orientation, spiritual orientation, class, separation by class, all of that is dissolved. We're focusing on a world where every human being is honored, where violence and abuse is not accepted, where war is not the answer. Let us all vision a world in harmony, humankind in harmony with each other, with respect as the basis, respect and allowance and love underlying everything. For if we do that, there is no need for war. There is no judgment and violence. There is no hatred and anger. And there'll be less broken souls trying to put the pieces back together just to become who they came here to be. So we put all that aside, let that dissolve away, and we're focusing in. We'll take some moments to picture our version of the world in harmony, humanity, united in love. What does that look like to you? What differences do you see in the world because of this? Let us all focus our own individual. Okay, beautiful. And the last thing in the outer world we're going to bring our attention to is our systems. Our monetary, banking, financial systems, our systems of law and order and governance. Now, I am not a political being. I do pay attention to what's going on in the world. But I do not have the answers for exactly how all this needs to shift. I don't think any one person does. There are people who would be far more illuminated in that area than I am. But again, we're not looking at the hows and the wheres and the whens and the whats. We're looking at the idea that globally, in each nation, internationally, everyone has all they need. Our monetary financial system, our health systems, our systems of law and order and governance of the communities is such that everyone has what they need. Everyone is able to live and meet their needs, including their needs for creation, their needs to be active in the world, needs for simple pleasure like to travel, to enjoy the world, to give back. To be supported, to be all they are. This is an interconnected world now, where we acknowledge our interconnectedness, where we pretend that we are not interconnected and we are separate, and we all fight to be getting this slice of whatever pie. That is dissolving. Without a clear idea of how that would be, let's just picture that everyone is looked after on all levels. Hold the space for that and send love right through that. That is such a deeply embedded thing with all the divisions. That people hold among themselves, now embedded with the physicality of money, of governments, of financial structures, of everything. The inequity of healthcare, where some get it and some can't. And God bless all our health workers, all our doctors and nurses and aides, and all the admin who help that be, all our ambulance staff, all our police, fireys, emergency service workers, all our aid workers, our relief workers. And then there's those who maintain the world at the moment. In the middle of all of this, that we can go out and go to a chemist, that we can go to a grocery, that we can still meet our needs. Thank you to all of those. Sorry, I just had to drop that in because there's amazing things happening in this world and I want to acknowledge them. And there are people who are showing up while the world resets, and I want to acknowledge them. Back to the picture of a world in harmony, not just people between people, where race and culture and everything else is no longer an issue, but where there's a real balance and equity on every level. There are no poor who can't have food or shelter. No person gets left behind, really. That's for me the basis of it. And feel whatever comes up with you for that. When I say that, a part of me is almost in tears. So, this is just an indication for me of how important it is that we bring focus to this and allow a space that it can be our future, something to move toward, into, be. Okay. Bless you all for your part in this. This kind of change comes about by enough people knowing it is to be this way for it to be. Thank you for your part. Big breath. Now all of this, everything you've visioned, I want you to imagine, and you don't have to go back and try to think of every little part you visited, from relationships, from work and purpose, and finances and health and well-being and body. Just pull it all in. The outer world stuff and our visioning there, just pull it all in and imagine it all there in front of you. And imagine that it can be. And you send love through it. And you see it connected down into the earth, grounded into this now, so that it may be a future now. See an energy from it going up and out into everything that is, so that all the possibilities that need to be brought into being can meet and align with the visioning for a new way of being, living in unity and harmony with all. Beautiful. And we send love through it again, or allow it to keep flowing. And we hand it up. We don't know how. We know it can be. We hand it up saying, please meet our needs. Please answer our prayers. We don't know how, but we know it can be. Please. Thank you. And then we release it into all that is. And when we worry, try to figure out how that will all happen, we come back and we do this again. We cannot know the how, where, when, why's, what's at the moment. So we focus on what we really desire, what we really need at our most deepest heart, soul levels. Okay, beautiful. Just send a moment to send love to each other. As we do this, I send my deep, abiding love and appreciation to every single one of you who join me now or in the future, for your time and your commitment and your love. Thank you for being you and bringing your love to the world. Thank you for holding the faith. It all matters. Every bit of it matters. Know you matter. Love out to all of you, each of you, and then beyond each person listening, we send it out to everyone, everything in the world. Love, appreciation, blanketing all. Blanketing our earth. Moving through our fears. Beautiful. Okay, we'll come back into our bodies now. Bring your attention right back into this moment, here now. All the way back. Wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes, rub your hands together. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you. Thank you again. With all my love and deepest blessings. Stay well and safe now.